Okay, so today we're going to really zero in on something that it can totally make or break how effective your website is.
Yeah.
Ready for this?
Yeah, hit me.
Calls to action.
Oh, yeah.
You know those buttons and links everywhere you go on the internet, right?
Yeah.
Urging you to do something.
Take that next step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do you make those things work?
Exactly. How do you make them really stand out?
Actually irresistible so they click it.
Yeah, totally.
So that's what we're going to unpack today.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really important topic because, you can have the best website in the world, but if nobody's clicking those buttons,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
you're not going to get any results. So think of it this way.
Okay, I'm ready.
Your website, it might be beautiful. You might be attracting a lot of visitors, but without a strong call to action, it's almost like having a shop, a shop window.
Uh-huh.
And it's full of amazing, products and things that people want, but there's no door. They can look through the window. They can see everything, but they can't get in to actually buy anything.
That's such a good analogy. I love that.
Yeah, so you're missing out. You got to turn those lookers into doers.
Right, from window shoppers to buyers.
Absolutely.
Okay, so to guide us on this deep dive, we've got an article from We Do the Web Digital Marketing Agency.
Okay, cool.
It's called We Do the Web, How to Create a Strong Call to Action on Your Website. And they published this literally just yesterday, March 24th, 2025.
Wow. So it's hot off the press.
Hot off the press, and they had that brilliant line, a weak call to action. It's like a shop with no door.
Yeah, it's so true.
So that's our mission today.
All right, I'm ready.
It's simple, but I think super important.
Okay.
We've got to equip you with, real strategies that you can put to work right away.
Yes, actionable.
Actionable, exactly.
Yeah.
To craft those compelling calls to action.
Love it.
That turn those visitors
Yes.
into customers, subscribers, whatever your goal is.
Whatever you want them to do. Yeah.
Right. And what I think is so cool about this article from We Do the Web is that they really,
Yeah.
they go kind of deeper.
Yeah.
Right? They don't just tell you,
Totally.
here's what a button should look like.
Exactly.
They talk about the elements that actually make people want to click.
Yes, the psychology behind it, that's fascinating to me.
Yes. Okay, so let's jump into those core elements.
Let's do it.
The first one, and this might seem obvious, but they really emphasize this clear, action-oriented language.
I think a lot of people miss this one, though.
I know it's so basic, but you see it all the time.
All the time.
Where you're like, what am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
So give me an example of what not to do.
Well, I think the biggest culprit is click here.
Yes.
It's just so vague.
Yeah.
What's the benefit to me as a user? What am I going to get when I click there? It doesn't really tell me anything.
It doesn't create a motivation to do it.
Exactly.
Like I have to go searching for why I should click that.
Exactly. So instead of click here, what you want to do is be specific.
Okay, I like that.
So some examples that We Do the Web gives that I think are really powerful.
Yeah, give me some good ones.
Get your free quote today.
Oh, that's good.
Or start your free trial.
Yeah.
Or download your guide now.
I like how those have those keywords in them, like today and now.
Exactly.
So it's like urgent.
Yeah, it gives you that sense of like, I need to do this now.
Don't wait.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's very clear what you're going to get when you click that button.
Right. You're not left guessing.
Exactly. There's no guesswork involved.
I like that, removing the guesswork.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got to be clear in what we want them to do.
Yeah, so we have to add in another layer.
Yeah.
Which is creating that sense of urgency.
Okay, so why is that so important? Why do we have to make people feel like they have to do it right now?
Well, I mean, think about human nature, right? We always want what we can't have.
Oh, yeah.
Or what we might lose.
The fear of missing out?
Exactly. FOMO.
Everyone knows that now.
Everyone knows FOMO. So if an offer is only available for a limited time, it just naturally pushes us to act quickly.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out.
Exactly. And there's actually this principle in psychology called the scarcity principle.
Oh, tell me more.
Yeah. So it basically says that we value things that are scarce more highly.
Well, that's so interesting.
Yeah. So when something's limited or there's only a few left, we're more likely to want it.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
So you can use that to your advantage in your calls to action.
Give me an example.
So the web gives some great examples like limited spots available, sign up now.
Oh, I like that one.
Or exclusive, offer ends soon.
Yeah, so you're really putting that ticking clock in their head.
Exactly. You're creating that little bit of pressure that encourages them to take action.
Okay, but all this being said, you could have the most perfect language, the most urgent wording, But does matter
if nobody can see it.
if they can't see it. Yeah, if it's buried at the bottom of the page somewhere.
Exactly. It's got to stand out visually.
Yes. So that's the next thing we've got to talk about, visual standout.
Visual standout is so crucial. Your call to action needs to be like a magnet.
A magnet. Yeah, it's got to draw the eye.
Exactly. So what were some of the key things that we do in this one? So the web talked about in terms of making that call to action visually prominent.
Well, the first thing they said is color.
Color, yeah.
It's got to be bold. It can't blend in.
It can't be the same color as your website background.
Right. It's got to stand out. You got to use contrast.
Contrast is key.
And then the other thing is placement.
Placement. Yeah, where is it on the page?
It's got to be where people are naturally looking,
Makes sense, yeah.
right? And where it logically fits in the flow of what they're doing on the website.
You don't want them to have to hunt for it.
Exactly. So you're making it easy for them to find it, to understand what they're supposed to do.
It should be effortless.
Yes. And that actually leads into the next element. They talk about keeping it short,
Keep it concise.
concise.
Yes.
Brevity is key, as they say.
Yes. So they recommend aiming for no more than 5 words.
5 words. Wow, that's pretty tight.
It is, but there's a good reason for that.
Okay, I'm listening.
Think about how we use websites, right? We're always scanning.
Yeah, we're not really reading every single word,
Exactly. We're looking for the information we need quickly.
especially now people are, busier than ever.
Yeah, exactly. So a short, punchy call to action is much easier to grasp.
It's less work.
Yes, exactly. It reduces what we call cognitive load.
Cognitive load. I like that.
Yeah, it's basically the mental effort required to understand something.
Well, that's a good way to put it.
So you want to make it as easy as possible for people to understand what you want them to do.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Okay, last but not least, they talk about something that I think is really important, aligning with user intent.
Oh, yeah, this is a big one.
So break that down for me. What does that mean, aligning with user intent?
So it basically means you have to consider where the visitor is in their journey on your website.
Right.
Someone who's just landing on your homepage for the first time. They're going to have very different needs and expectations than someone who's been browsing your products or reading your blog posts.
So it's like meeting them where they are.
Exactly, and offering them the most relevant next step.
So give me an example of how that might look different.
So let's say someone's just landed on your homepage.
Okay, they're brand new.
Brand new. They don't know much about you.
So what would be a good call to action for them?
Learn more would be a good one.
Learn more.
Encourage them to explore your website a bit more.
Yeah, to dig a little deeper.
Exactly. But if someone's been looking at a specific product,
Okay, they're clearly interested in that.
yeah, they're much closer to making a purchase.
So what would be a good call to action there?
Buy now would be a good one.
Buy now or
Get started.
get started. Okay, I see the difference.
Yeah, so you're offering them the action that makes the most sense based on where they are in their journey.
Right. It's like guiding them toward the conversion.
Exactly, but in a way that feels natural and helpful.
Not pushy.
Not pushy at all, just kind of like the next logical step.
I like that.
Okay, so we've talked about these key elements, but I think it's really helpful to see some real-world example.
Yes, let's make this concrete.
Yeah.
So the web has some really great examples
They do.
of calls to action that work.
That convert, yeah.
That convert. Okay, so let's say you're running an e-commerce website.
Okay, I'm listening.
They suggest something like, claim 10% off shop now.
Oh, I love that one.
It's so clear.
It's so clear. You immediately see the benefit, the 10% off.
Yeah.
And then it tells you exactly what to do, shop now.
Yeah, no guesswork there.
It's all within those 5 words that we talked about.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Exactly. So what's working really well there is that combination of the incentive, the discount, with the clear instruction of what to do to claim it.
Yeah.
So it's very effective.
Okay, what if you're a service-based business? What's a good example there?
They have a great one for that too. Book your free consultation.
Oh, I like that one too.
Yeah, it's very straightforward. It's action-oriented.
It tells you what to do.
Exactly. And it highlights that free consultation, which is a great way to get people in the door.
Yeah, to lower that barrier to entry.
Exactly.
Okay, and then last but not least, what about software as a service companies? So SOTs.
Sauce, yeah, they have a good one for that as well. Start your free trial today.
Today, there's that urgency again.
There's that urgency.
Like
yeah.
you've got to act now.
And it clearly tells you what to do. Start your free trial.
Exactly. So these examples really show how you can apply those key elements to different industries and different goals.
Right, so we've talked about the good stuff.
The good stuff.
But now let's flip it
Okay.
and talk about the mistakes.
The don'ts.
Yes, because understanding what not to do is just as important.
Absolutely. It can save you a lot of headaches.
Okay, so what are some of the biggest mistakes that we do exceed? The web says people make with their calls to action.
Well, we've already touched on this, but using generic language.
Oh yeah, click here. Click here. It just doesn't give the user any reason to click.
It's like click here for what?
Exactly. It doesn't communicate any value.
So avoid click here at all costs.
At all costs.
Okay, what's another mistake?
Making the call to action too long?
Oh yeah, being too wordy.
Too wordy.
So what's an example of that?
They give this example. If you're interested, click here to find out more.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
It's too much. It's like you're begging.
It's like, please click this.
Please, I don't know what to do.
You've got to be more direct.
Direct and concise.
Yes. And then the last mistake, and this one might seem obvious, but it happens all the time,
Okay, what is it?
burying the call to action on the page.
Oh yeah, hiding it.
Yeah, like if people can't see it, they're obviously not going to click it.
It's got to be front and center.
Yes. It's
Oh.
got to be easy to find.
Yeah, it needs to stand out.
Okay, so we've talked about the key elements, the good examples, the bad examples.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
I know. So now let's zoom out a little bit and think about why is the web door placing so much emphasis on this? Why is it so important to get these calls to action right?
Well, they put it really, really well in the article.
Okay, how do they put it?
They said a well-crafted call to action transforms your website from a passive digital waiting room
Okay.
into an active sales engine.
Oh, I love it. That's a great way to think about it.
Yeah, it really is.
Because you could have thousands of people coming to your website,
Tons of traffic.
but if they're not taking action,
Yeah.
then it's almost like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's like having a beautiful store with nobody buying anything.
So we've got to guide them toward that action.
Guide them to the cash register.
Yes, and they're the experts in this, right?
Absolutely. They help businesses with this all the time.
So they really know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they've got the experience to back it up.
Okay, so as we start to wrap up, what would you say are the absolute must-remember key takeaways for our listeners today?
Okay, so if you remember nothing else, remember this. Use clear, action-oriented language.
Okay, number one.
Tell the user exactly what to do and what they'll get.
Yeah, spell it out for them.
Exactly. Number two, create a sense of urgency when it makes sense.
Yeah, don't overdo it.
No, but if there's a genuine reason for them to act now, use it.
Right, like limited time offer or something like
Yes,
that.
exactly. Number three, make sure your calls to action are visually prominent.
They've got to see them.
They've got to see them easy to find.
Yeah,
Number four, keep the language concise.
5 words or less.
5 words or less, ideally, yes. And then finally,
Okay.
the most important one, I think.
Okay, hit me.
Always align your call to action with where the user is in their journey.
Yes.
Think about what they're trying to achieve on that specific page.
Meet them where they are.
Meet them where they are and guide them to that next step.
I love that.
And of course, don't forget those common mistakes.
Right.
Avoid the generic language like click here.
Yeah,
Don't be too wordy.
keep it short.
Keep it short and don't hide your calls to action.
Make them shine.
Make them shine.
So I love ending these deep dives with like a little bit of homework.
Oh, I love homework.
I know. So for everyone listening right now, I want you to take a minute
Okay.
and think about your own website.
Okay.
Those calls to action,
Yeah.
are they really clear,
Oh,
compelling?
yeah.
Do they make you want to click them?
Are they irresistible?
Yes. And are they easy to find?
Can you spot them right away?
Right.
Yeah.
And think about, is there one little tweak you could make today
Just one small change.
based on what we've talked about?
Yeah.
That might make a big difference.
Sometimes it's the smallest things that can have the biggest impact.
Yes, I love that. So look at your website with fresh eyes and think about, are those doors wide open?
Are you inviting people in?
Yes. Or are they struggling to get in?
You want to make it easy for them.
Exactly. All right. That's our deep dive for today.
That was a good one.
Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.